Yes, it is boiling hot in the southwest and other parts of the country. I repeat, it is boiling hot in the southwest and other parts of the country. There's violence in Osun State. There's also violence in Lagos. Anambra is doing something else. Labour Party has come out with a statement that has set the country on fire. And there is another narrative that is being pushed by the Sultan of Sokoto on the Yoruba Muslims. Let's start with the Sultan of Sokoto. We know that the Fulani has an agenda, and their agenda is not too good for the people of the southwest and also the southeast. The agenda of the Fulani is not good for the culture, for the traditions, for the identity of the southern region. So anything that comes from that Fulani enclave needs to be rejected. But this is the narrative. They came out to say that the Pope himself is the Christian head of all Christians, is the spiritual head of all Christians in Nigeria. The Pope, Christians accept him as the spiritual head. So Yoruba Muslims have no other choice than to accept the Sultan of Sokoto as the spiritual head, that there's nothing in it. There's no big deal of you rejecting the Sultan of Sokoto, using the Pope as an example. So if you can accept the Pope, if Christians all over the world can accept the Pope as their spiritual head, why are the Yoruba Muslim running haywire, saying that we don't subscribe to the leadership of the Sultan of Sokoto? They have given you so many reasons, one of which is that the Fulani has an agenda, and that agenda is not too good for the Yorubas. They have given a condition. If they will make a Yoruba person, put a Yoruba person or another person who is not the Fulani in that position, then they will feel like we are part of this society of Muslims in Nigeria. But we have seen consistently, after reading history, that the Fulani are hiding under Islam to perpetrate their agenda. And that agenda is to Islamize the whole country and take over. They see Nigeria as their father's estate. Look at what's happening in the north today. I've said it over and over again. Name 3 top politicians in the north. All of them are Fulanis. How come? The same way they use the religion, came and started pretending, blah, blah, blah. You are a kafir. You need to convert to Islam and experience this and that. From there, they entered them. They took over their culture. They took over their economy. They took over everything that has their politics. The political sphere, they took over everything. And you see Fulani at every keda. How come the people that they brought the religion to have now become slaves? How come in Nigeria, anything that has to do with Islam, you see Fulani at the top? Any agenda that the Fulani is pushing, they are always at the top. The Fulani are not synonymous to Nigeria. There's no connection they have with Nigeria. They're just outsiders that found a way of entering the houses and they mixed with them. That's why you see that they'll say Hausa Fulani. The Fulani, they are saying that there's nothing that can separate us from the Hausas. We are all intertwined. The Fulani knows that there's nothing they can hold on to in Nigeria, that this is our ancestral land. So they use every opportunity they can to make sure that they grab more land. Go to Mali, go to all these countries you see the Fulani. The same thing they are doing, causing mayhem, terrorism, killings, and what have you. How do they come? Through religion. You know that religion is the opium of the masses. They know that religion, you can use religion to make somebody soft and lose his guard. They know, they studied that very well. And over the years, they have used these tactics. They use it to claim Ilorin, Kwara State. When they bring religion, you lessen your guard. They have an agenda. After they introduce that religion, they come and they take over your land and they become indigenous. I've told you the last time how these Fulanis come to your land. They beg you for a space whereby they can settlement. From having that settlement, they build permanent structures. From permanent structures, they try to get involved in your politics and everything. When they gain ground, they start doing jihad, like Uthman Danfodio did. So whenever if you allow them build this Sharia, whatever, to weaken, they want to weaken the southern part of Nigeria. and make sure with that they enter into the southern part of Nigeria. They have said it before that the southwest is a walkover. And one of the mistakes that they did is for them to say it. Yoruba youth heard it. They heard it point and clear and made sure that anything they are trying to push is pushed back. And I love what the Yoruba youths are doing. I've told you, I'm an Igbo man. The reasons why I'm against Sharia in the southern part of Nigeria is because if it affects one, it affects all. If it gets into the southwest, they will find ways of making it spread all across the southern part of Nigeria. And it will not be a good one. Unnecessary war, unnecessary revolution, we don't want it. I've said it, for the Yorubas to take back Ilorin, they must have to shed blood. It's a revolution. It looks like near impossibility for them to take back Ilorin, except the system changed. I've told you one of the reasons I'm supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is for restructuring. Restructuring will take care of all these anomalies. So the example of you telling us that Christians have the Pope, the Muslims have the Sultan. No. Most Christians do not recognize the Pope, and it's well with them. So if Yoruba youths do not recognize the Sultan, it should be well with them. It should not cause trouble. I saw some comments from some Yoruba Muslims saying that no matter what happens, they pay their allegiance to the Sultan of Sokoto. It is accepted. So don't even trouble those ones that don't want to pay their allegiance. Yes, because since you are using the example of the Pope, most people don't recognize the Pope as a spiritual head. Most Christians in the world don't recognize the Pope as a spiritual head. So if you're using the example, let the same thing apply in your example with the Sultan of Sokoto. Don't look down on people that are saying that they don't want the Sultan of Sokoto directive. They want it from their mufti in Yoruba land, the leaders in Yoruba land. That is for the narrative that is being pushed in the south, in the southern part of Nigeria. Also, it seems Obasa is coming back and Miranda is going, because the politics we are playing today is the politics. You see, once I talk about setting a precedent that is going to destroy this country. Look at the kind of politics that play in Lagos. GSS coming, they are almost violence in the Lagos State House of Assembly. Since I was born, I've never heard of that kind of violence that happened in the Lagos State House of Assembly, that the members were fighting themselves. I've not really heard about it. But because it involves a strong man of Basa in Agege and some other members, now the DSS has locked up offices of the speaker and the deputy speaker. I think Tinubu has a hand in this, wanting to return Obasa. And I told you, the politics we are playing in Nigeria, snatch it, grab it, and run away with it. We destroy the last thing that we think we are operating democracy in Nigeria. We are lying. We are just deceiving ourselves. So the example, I told you, when it comes to governance, Tinubu is far from anything close to governance. Don't bring governance close to where Tinubu is. Anywhere he is just like operating like a cabal, a kingpin, whereby somebody in the middle dictates what happened. Like him becoming president, he had to cripple the opposition. Him becoming president, he had to cripple the opposition. So, looking at the whole thing, I think Obasa is coming back. He will come back. Chebi is Tinubu in Lagos. He will come back. I've told Yoruba people that Tinubu does not represent the interest of the Southwesterners. He represents the interest of his allies and he himself. He wants to spend 8 years and be in power and be amongst the cabal, because he knows that Nigerians are puppets. How many years does he have to live? 20 or more. And he's going to spend those years becoming a cabal. He doesn't care. If he cares about good governance, he will allow the will of the people prevail. But because he's not concerned about good governance, he's concerned about politicking, taking charge. He's concerned about, yes, this is my vendetta, and he must hold. Like you look at the tax bill, with all the back and forth of the northern people, oh, we don't want this one. You will deliberate and deliberate. The tax bill, Tinubu's own. I told you, I have studied Tinubu. I was a young man when Tinubu was governor in Lagos State. I benefited from the free education. At least we only paid PTA in secondary school. Paid PTA, paid for a uniform. We didn't pay for the school fees. I went to a public school or public grammar school. I went to a public school. We didn't pay for WAEC, so he paid for all this. Let's say that kind of free education we experienced. I understood how people he was struggling at the first term, and at the end of the day, he captured everything. His word is law. I'm telling you. So Obasa seems to be coming back. Now, violence in Osun State, it seems like a lot of things. The APC wants to give Adeleke sleepless night. They don't want that guy to enjoy his whatever he's doing. A local government chairman killed. The man accusing Oyetola of trying to use the DSS and police. Oyetola, a minister in Tinubu's, in quote, cousin to Tinubu, he's blaming Oyetola for the violence that's happening in Osun State. That is still the legacy of snatch it, grab it, and run away with it. I think PDP is very, very strong in Osun State, and I don't think APC will have its way until this guy finishes his second term. Now, looking at what Kaduna people are saying, Kaduna politicians, they say that the goal for 2007 is to defeat Tinubu, retire him from politics, and deflate his over-bloated ego. The goal. Most Northerners, that is their mentality. You see, forget those people that are decamping from one party to another. Just forget what they are trying to do. They're just playing around. Most people have it in mind that they will vote out Tinubu in the north because of the suffering and because of what most people are being told. But aside that, the tide is going to change. Aside that, what will happen will shock the whole world. That Tinubu will spend his 8 years if they are going to go through that route. You see, all these things that are happening is a testament of the fact that this man is in charge. You see what's happening in Lagos State? Tinubu is the reason why that thing is happening in Lagos State. You see what's happening in Osun State? Tinubu will be the only one that will step in and solve that issue in Osun State. So whatever that is happening in the north, if like them gather together and said, we will never vote for Tinubu no matter what. Today, Tinubu is the most second hated politician in Kaduna, second only to Mr. Obasani. We know those that are pushing all those things. We know those, the El-Rufai and the likes, the Northern Coalition and the likes. But the thing here is that, see, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Tinubu is not somebody that you walk over. When I'm talking about Tinubu like this, people think I like Tinubu. I don't like Tinubu. Never. I will never like the APC and Tinubu. The APC will destroy this country, and I'm happy about that, so that we will have a new restructured system, that every tribe will have a representative, whether it is resource control, whether it is regionalism. So whatever that is happening, yeah, I'm happy because I know Tinubu has come to scatter everything, because the kind of politics he's playing is a politics that will bring division across board. You can see that Kaduna people are saying that he's the second most hated person in Kaduna State. Kano, you see, the way these Northerners operate, they are very, very cunning. You think they are supporting you. But the problem, where Tinubu will hold them is who they are going to present, whose coalition, which coalition, where is that coalition? Who are they going to bring to stand against Tinubu? Who? If it's El-Rufai, you don't cast. If it's Atiku, if it's Kwankwaso, except there is a collaboration between Peter Obi and Atiku, then they can give him a run for his money. They can play the dirty game in the north and the southeast and give him a run. But I don't think that the current government administration of Tinubu will allow those alliances to come together. I don't think it will ever happen. They will never allow that kind of alliances to come together to defeat a Tinubu. Now let's look at what the Labour Party has said. He said 2027, Labour Party is still available for Ndigbo to realize presidency. I think that is an affront. That is an attack on the integrity of the Igbo people worldwide. The Labour Party is still available for Ndigbo to realize presidency. Imagine a statement. They are just making mockery of us. I've said it. The only thing that will benefit Ndigbo in Nigeria is a breakup. That's the only thing that will benefit Ndigbo in Nigeria. Presidency will not benefit anyone, any of us. The structure of Nigeria, if Igbo becomes the president, in the person of Ipitobi, he's going to be another Jonathan. The Kabas will be, you see, the Yorubas and the Hausas, that's when they will have to come and align together. The politicians, they will join hands together and frustrate his government. The politicians, not the people. The politicians, not the people. If any Igbo man becomes president, you will now see that the politics is about permanent interest. The fight that these Yorubas are fighting with the Northerners on religion, they will push it aside and make sure that they fight against a Peter Obi. It says a lot, Abi. It says a lot. So you now, as a Labour Party that fielded Obi in the last elections, you have become another arm of the APC, especially that Abure, the chairman. Everybody see the Labour Party as an arm of the APC because of, however, what really happened and transpired in our party. The Ndigbo does not have any place in presidency in Nigeria. There's no place for Ndigbo when it comes to presidency. So forget all those things people are saying that Labour Party is available. Labour Party will die a natural death. That is what it is destined to do. Labour Party had some little clout then, but now it is going to die a natural death. Because without Peter Obi and the obedience, he wouldn't have risen to this limelight he rose to. If not for the shenanigans that happened during the last elections, all the things, the riggings and everything during the last elections, you think that Peter Obi would not have had an attempt at presidency? And yet, you people are sabotaging this guy. Look at Arambambi, look at Akpata. They are the ones now, they are the ones. God, Igbo don't suffer. We are calling on Igbo leaders. If you're a leader in Igbo, become a nationalist. Don't become a greedy man. Think only about your stomach. Become an Igbo nationalist. Think Igbo first. These are the leaders we want in Igbo land. So that all these kind of useless press statements from useless party that had no relevance prior to 2023, you are saying Labour Party is available for Ndigbo to realize. God. I think this is a handiwork of the APC in Labour Party. These guys are Labour Party. I think APC has hijacked Labour Party. If Peter Obi is going to run for any other party, I don't think if he tries running for the Labour Party, that is where he is going to lose it completely. There should be a neutral party that he should need to run on with the obedient movement to save, because I know that Peter Obi, he doesn't want to listen to whether, let's look at how we can look at the Southeast, solidify, forget presidency. Obi is not ready to forget any presidency. The way you look at that man, he's not ready to forget any presidency. He wants to still run for he still wants to run for as president of Nigeria. So if he's going to run, the advice you are going to give him as Ndigbo are not even interested in Ndigbo are not interested in presidency. They all know what we are interested in. We are interested in Biafra. All this running forth and back we are doing, at the end of the day, it will end at the table of a regional system of government, which will lead to balkanization. What is the essence of an Igbo presidency now? Just tell me. How will it benefit the Igbos? How? An Igbo president will veto? No, he can't veto now. It will be approved by the senators and the House of Rep members. Look at what Saraki did to Buhari. They had to find a way to remove Saraki because the president alone cannot run anything. What Tinubu is doing now, if you are to Peter Obi, that we're putting Igbos in every sector of the economy of the country, what would the Yorubas and Hausa would have done? The protests would have been unprecedented because it's an Igbo man. So an Igbo man cannot become president in a place where he is so much hated. They hate him. The First Republic, Igbos were in control of everything. They were the elite. However, the 1966 coup changed everything. The tide turned and the gang up was strong. They made sure that they would relegate the Igbos to almost nothing. But they are still surprised that the Igbos are still bubbling, strong. So a presidency in Nigeria is still the same thing. You cannot become a president amongst people that hate you so much more than you can imagine. So Labour Party should carry their presidency, go and give Okorocha or give Ojo Kalu. Since you are giving Igbos a chance, you can give Okorocha and Ojo Kalu. I know you are playing the politics of, okay, we have infiltrated the Labour Party. Let's do as if that we want P2B. Let's do as if we are calling him P2B. Let's divert his attention so that he will not have a coalition with Atiku and the rest. Let's bring him so that he can divide the votes. We know that is the vibes you are giving from this your Labour Party release. Labour Party still available for Ndigbo to realize presidency. You are trying to lure a P2B so that he will not have to join a coalition so that to affect Tinubu. Everybody is running. Under Buhari, Mieti Yala. Under Tinubu, Ronu. Hey, under Buhari, Mieti Yala. Under Tinubu, Ronu. Everybody is just, you see, most people that are on social media that are making mouth, it's because Tinubu is president though. The Mieti Yala people were also making mouth because Tinubu is president. Buhari was president then. See mentality of people. Igbos don't want presidency. Take your presidency and give us Biafra.